Hi guys, Andy the Bike Insurer here, and I just want to talk to you about some tips from us on security on the move. So that's keeping your bike safe and secure when you're out and about. So if you're at the shops or you're parking in the town and you want to make sure your bike's going to be there when you get back. And obviously a starting point for that is somewhere nice and busy like this. So we're at a supermarket car park here, and it's good because it's lit. There's CCTV around pretty much everywhere you look actually here. You've got CCTV sign there on the wall, and the bike's protected on two sides from people being able to sort of drag it out if you like. But the best thing about being in areas like this is that they're busy. I think some people think it's a good idea to park their bike down a quiet country road or a small back alley or somewhere like that where it's out of sight. But actually I believe that it's better off in a place where everyone can see it. You can't rely on the public getting involved if someone does try and steal your bike, and we've seen that from videos online in the past where people were really blazing about it. But in this case, I think it helps to have some eyes around and some people. I think it acts as a deterrent. And also, if you're in a busy public area like this, then you can rely on the police being able to get to you quicker. The public or you can call and say where you are a lot easier, and the police will know where that is much easier rather than, again, some back alley. In terms of physical security, if you've got a boot on your bike like this, or a top box, or perhaps one that will go under your seat, or a big area under your seat, or your backpack you use all the time, that's something to think about, because in there you can put a heavy duty chain, and that's something you really want to do when you're out, is go for the heaviest duty chain that you can actually carry. And when you fix it to the bike, if you've got an area like this where there's a pole or something you can attach it to, then that's worth doing. Try and make it high up if you can. I think if they're on the ground, it makes it a bit easier for people to use angle grinders when they're laying on the floor. I think if it's higher up, maybe in this case around this pole, they could try and use it against that pole as a sort of balance point. But really, I think if it's higher off the ground, it's probably a bit better. If you don't have something you can chain the bike to, then I would always put that lock here around the back of the bike here. So in this case, it would go around the back wheel and around part of the subframe, just to try and make that wheel immovable. But yeah, a chain, absolute must. And the other thing to think about is disc locks. Now, disc locks are a really efficient security device. They're small, they go in your pocket, they go under the back seat of your bike if you've got room. And when you put them on there, some people tend to put them higher up on the disc. It makes it a bit easier for you to get the key in it to undo them. But actually, I think it makes it also easier for a thief to hit it with a hammer or try and get some leverage on it. If it's down here underneath a caliper or somewhere like that, then it makes it a lot harder for them to get to. Just small things, but something that can slow them down again. And in this case, this particular lock here is alarmed. And just that alarm going off just creates a bit of interest in the bike, and people want to know what's going on. So it may not deter a thief, but it also might. But it'll certainly attract people's attention to what's going on, and that's just another little thing that's worth having to slow them down. So other little tips, I always leave the bike in gear. So if it's in first gear or second gear, whatever you want, when they come to try and roll it away, it's going to make it a bit hard for them. They have to remember or even know that they have to use a clutch to get it to move. And then when they're trying to get it in the van and everything, you've just got that little inconvenience there. Again, another little step which will help slow them down. I definitely always consider using a tracker. Nowadays, trackers on motorcycles are much cheaper. Honda and a few other manufacturers, they all come as standard now, built into the bike, which is really, really good news. But in terms of aftermarket trackers, you can buy them for as little as £50 now. You can hide them in the bike, certain areas of the bike, where they're out of sight. It's just another thing. If the bike starts moving, quite a lot of them will text you or send you an email and send you a link so that you can see exactly where the bike is on the map. Some of them are fully monitored services where you pay a subscription, and the monitoring office will call you and ask you if the bike is being stolen, if you're with it or not, if it's in the van or not, and then they will liaise with the police to get your bike back. But in terms of £50 and up, it's definitely worth having. And the other thing with trackers is that quite often, let's say the bike is at home, it's in your garage, the bike gets stolen, the thieves will take other things in the garage whilst they're there, like tools. So there's a good chance that you'll get your tools back as well as your bike if you're using a tracker. I would always have a tracker. And plus also, they can help reduce your insurance premium. If you just state to your insurers when you get an insurance quote that you have a tracker fitted, that can make a big difference. So yeah, that's our tips on how to keep your bike secure when you're out and about on the move. So in a nutshell, park it somewhere busy where there are people around. Park it somewhere where there's CCTV. If it's nighttime, park it where there's lighting. Try and get it in a designated motorcycle bay if you can, but really just somewhere where it's busy, where it can easily be tracked down. Go for a chain, heavy duty as you can. fix that onto something, around a pole or a lamppost if you can. If you can't, then around the back wheel and the subframe. Use a disc lock. Definitely use a disc lock on the front wheel. You could use one on the rear as well. And if you can get one that's got an alarm built in it that goes off on motion, then definitely do that. Do look at trackers. Definitely worth having a tracker on board your bike. So if it is stolen, then you'll get it back. There's a lot better chance at least that you're going to get it back. And when you park it, leave it in gear. It just makes it a bit harder for them to get the bike away. And all those little things should help. You could use a cover if you've got space to carry one with you. If thieves driving past can't see what the bike is, then sometimes that will put them off. So something worth considering as well there. So that's our top tips on keeping your bike secure on the move. And for more hints and tips from the Bike Insurer, just follow our YouTube channel and our social media pages.